is being recorded here. All right. Okay. So if you don't have a device to scan the barcode later, you may write your name and metric number in the chat room. All right, in the chat room, chat box. So yeah, so you also write your class, whether you're from Fiat 7 or Fiat 8, right? So for tonight, we will talk about another important subtopics for this course, which is the academic writing part. So this is quite important, not quite important lah, it's very important basically, because it will account for 30 or 40% of your overall marks, right? So for academic writing, you will have to produce an essay of 500 words, and you have to know how to use citation. The essay part, the essay writing is something that I'm sure all of you are familiar with, because all of you already did your MUET, and also and also previously I'm sure you guys have done some sort of writing. So it is basically the same thing. It's just that for academic writing, you will have to do a lot more, right? So are you guys familiar with academic writing, whereby you have to use citation, and you have to know how to paraphrase, and I think the only real difference is you have to use citation. Okay, so let's begin. Great. So I will be presenting my screen now. Right. All right. So this is the task that you have to do for your next assignment, right? So I'm sure all of you have already done the previous speaking assessment. So this is writing assessment. You have to write an essay of 500 words on the topic of cardiovascular disease. So include information from at least 4 of the excerpts below. So the information, okay, so these are the excerpts, right? And you have to include this information in your essay. And the way for you to include this information is you have to paraphrase this information, and then you have to use the citation skill that you will learn in the next week or in the following week or so, right? We will not be covering about citation yet, but today will be just an overview of the tasks that you have to do, or the overview of how to do academic writing. Right, so you are given this topic, cardiovascular disease. So how do you approach this task? Right, so just the same as the regular essay, you have to first structure, right? Make a structure, so you know you have to have an introduction. The introduction, so you have to write a bit of what you know about the topic, a bit of statistics, just a general overview. And then the next part, there should be 3 body paragraphs, right? And the 3 body paragraphs should be well organized. So for example, the first paragraph, you could talk about the risk factors. What are the factors that contribute to someone getting cardiovascular disease? And the second part could be about the second paragraph. You can talk about how to solve the issue, like what society, what the government, what the individuals can do to protect themselves from cardiovascular disease. Together, right? So yeah. Now let's look at an example. So this is a question, right? So now I will show you an example of academic writing. Right. Are you guys? If you have any question at any point during this, set too small. Sorry. During the lesson, you can straight away ask, right? So you can, sometimes I will miss the chat box, so you can voice up by turning on your speaker, right? Right, so now I will show you a paper that I wrote. All right. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have already looked at this the lesson for this week, right? I hope that all of you have already looked at the lesson. So there are different type of reading materials, right? There are academic journals, there are newspaper article, there are web article, and there are essays written by students. So the highest level of scholarship is the academic journal. And academic journals are when you have to use academic writing lah, right? So this is one of my papers that I have published in the journal Discourse and Society, right? So the publisher is Sage, so you can find this article by going to the Sage. Sage is the name of the publisher, right? So later on, I will show you how to find journal articles and how to access them, right? Right, so these are the standard format of academic article. You would usually have abstract, right? So abstract is just the overview, right? The summary of what your paper will talk about. So in this paper, I talk about the issue of homosexuality in Islam, right? So yeah. Okay. So right. Right. So when we talk about academic writing and citation, this is what we call citation, right? Yeah. So we have to, when we write something, we have to give proof that we get our point from somewhere, right? So this sentence, social psychology and discursive psychology are typically used to study the workings of psychological themes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So here I put this citation, Billig 2006, Edwards 2005. So these indicate that this idea that I wrote, I got it from this author, right? Bilik is the last name of the author, and 2006 is the year the work is published. And here it is separated by a semicolon, meaning that I actually take this idea, this whole thing from two different source. So I combine it, two different papers, two different writers, right? I combine the idea and I use my own words to write this. But this idea originally come from these two authors, right? Bilik 2006, Edwards 2005. So this is academic writing, right? Whatever you write, you have to prove that you get your idea from somewhere else. And the way for you to record it is by using citation, right? And there are two ways to cite in text, right? So here you can put it at the end of the sentence, right? So these are taken from these two authors. The end of the sentence you write, or you can also put it in the beginning, and you can use the author as the subject in your sentence, as part of your sentence. So Horton Salwe here is an author, right? So employed TP to study the experience of her participants who suffer from myalgic encephalitis, okay, ME, or fatigue syndrome. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, so you see, rather than putting the authors and the year the work is published at the end of the sentence, I put it in front and as part of the sentence. So Horton Salwe employed this blah blah in, yeah. And here, this research contributes to the study of illness narratives, right? Other than that, DP has also been used to analyze Islamic sermons regarding homosexuality. But here, I revert back to the original way, which is I use citation at the back, at the end, right? Zulkifli and Rashid, 2016. All right, and Wiggins et al. Here, what does it mean by et al? Et al. Here means that the paper have more than 3 authors, right? So yeah, 3 authors. You cannot list everything. It will be very long. So you just write et al. 2001. Right. Yeah. Now, sorry, I was supposed to show you how this slide first, which is how do we use works of others, right? So let's look at this. So when we when we refer to the work of others, we have to change the structure of the sentence, right? And these are the methods that you can use to change or for you to take the ideas from other papers, right? Or other writing. So the methods is paraphrasing, right? Paraphrasing means you change the sentence lah. You want to express the meaning of a relevant idea from an author or source in your own words. So here, you don't really do anything. You just want to say what the author say in your own words, right? Summarizing, to briefly describe the ideas put forward by an author or from a source in your own words. So summarizing is it's quite challenging as well. Paraphrasing is the simpler one lah, right? Summarizing, you read everything and then you find what is it actually that the author want to say, the main point, and you just summarize it in one words, right? or one sentence. And synthesizing, this one is quite challenging because you have to compare between two works, right? So you not only focus on one work, but you look at two works, and then you look at the similarities or the difference, and from that you synthesize, and then you um, produce your own idea, basically. Right. And the last one is quoting. Quoting, you use exact words of the author or source. So you can also take words by words from the author. You don't want to change anything. But with quoting, you have to use this. You have to use the quotation. You have to use quotation too. And you have to follow a specific format, right? Okay. All right. Here you can see paraphrasing. So when you paraphrase, follow on point order structure, right? Okay. Yeah, the same as original. Okay. Okay. So let me show you the example of this, right? How to paraphrase, summarize, synthesizing, and quoting. Yeah, so this one, I use direct quote. For you practice your lust on men in preference to women, you are indeed people transgressing beyond bound. So I have to use this quotation mark, right? Because it is the exact wording from the Quran, and I have to specify which verse did I take it from, right? So I say it is the Quran, verse 7, chapter 7, surah 7, verse 81, and I have to state the translation. But this one is very specific to the Quran, right? And also the hadith. Okay. All right. So let's look at this. Fine. Can somebody respond? Are you guys still there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay tak?
Okay.
Faham tak?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
It's quite a heavy subject
Okay.
at night. So
Okay, sir.
so if you have any problem, please say so, yeah? Thank you. Right. Okay, so now, how to cite, right? So you can just Google, right, citation. For citation, there are a lot of format, right? So there's APA, MLA, there's Harvard format, also Chicago format. But the one that we use is APA format. Not only in the English subject, but you will have to use the APA citation method for other subject as well. Right? Later on, when you take more courses, you will have to do this when you have to write papers. Okay. So you don't have to you don't have to memorize the exact way, because it's quite particular and there are a lot of things, but you have to understand lah what it means. Right. So for example, APA Insert Citation Style uses the author's last name and the year of publication, right? So this is what I said just now, Field 2005. For direct quotation, include the page number as well, right? Okay. All right. So web page. So when you cite, I forgot to say, you put this 19, but in the reference entry, you also have to write the full reference list. So this is at the end of this of your paper, right? What I said just now, this one, right? Bilik 2006, Edwards 2005. So when you put this, the reader should be able to find your citation here. So Edwards 2005 here, and Bilik is here. The reason why we cite and we put the reference list at the end is so that the reader could check what you write or from where you get your information from. So the person interested to read more about this, they would be able to find lah. They will be able to find the materials, right? And there are, for the reference list, there are different ways in which you have to write your reference. For books, it's different. For book, you have to write like this. Oxford. Okay, so for example, Ali K, the author name, 2006, the year, Sexual Ethics and Islam. This is the title of the book. Oxford. One World is the name of the publisher. But here, Bilik M, the name, Bilik is the last name, M is the initial of the first name, right? 2006, Psychoanalytic Discursive Psychology from consciousness to unconsciousness. So here, the title of the article. The title of this article. You see here, the title of this the title of the book is italicized. But here, the title of the article is not italicized. But what is italicized is the name of the journal. So this is journal article. 8.1. 8 is the volume. The volume, and 1 is the, I forgot what is it. But 8.1 is the volume and the edition or some, not edition. Not edition. It's okay lah. We'll look at it later. And then, yeah, 1724 is the page number, right? So this is journal article. This one is book. So between these two is already different. Yeah, this MA, because I cite myself, Muhammad Ashraf here, Rashid, RA. Yeah, so you have to know what type of materials that you are citing from. If it's a book, you will have to follow a different way of citing. If it is a web article, you have to follow a certain way of citing. All right. Okay, I already took that. Slide is missing. All right, so I will share with you the slide later, right? Right. So so this is what I said. So in-text citation, reference entry, two different things. So in-text citation is the citation within the text, and reference entry is the last part. So you don't have to be concerned too much about the reference entry. I will show you the easy way to do this, right? So reference entry here, this one is for web page. So for web page, you have to include here the date of the publication. Also, you have to include the link, right? The link. And then web page with organizational author. So with some internet article, they don't have an author. So what do? You just write the name of the organization where you get the article from. So it's World Health Organization, WHO. Right. So the in-text citation, reference entry. What happens if the web page has no date? For web page with no date, you put ND, no date here, right? Yeah, so there are a lot of things you have to remember, because you have to be very particular in the way you cite, because you have to follow this very specific way of writing. It can be quite what do we call it, overwhelming sometimes, daunting, right? Challenging. But once you know how to do this, it's actually nothing like, it's quite easy. Here, like what I said just now, direct quote. If you want to put direct quote, yeah, so you have to put it in the quotation, and you have to put the year, and you have to put an additional thing, which is the page number of where you get the quote from. This one is if you put the author at the end. If you put it in front, you just put Gus and Voronese found that, the listener's familiarity, and the last part, you close with the page number. But if you want to quote more than 40 words, you have to put it in a different, separately from your paragraph, right? So you have to write it like this. You have to put separately, and you have to put it in block, right? So here, like this. If it's 2 authors only, but if there are 3 or more authors, you just write at all 2010 like this. Okay. Okay. Okay, now let's take your attendance. Okay, so I will flash the barcode class by class, right? So the thing is, there's 1 week where your attendance went missing. So we will use that week for your... So are you guys ready? Okay. Uh, okay, where is it? There's 1 week where your attendance, where the system didn't record your attendance at all. So, yeah, here, 25th of October. I'm not sure what happened. Eh. Okay. Okay, so Fiat 7, get ready to to scan your barcode. So this is Fiat 7 first, yeah? Are you guys scanning your barcode? Okay tak? Fiat 7 first and then Fiat 8, yeah? So Fiat 8, get ready. Okay then? Then. Okay, good job. Fiat 8, yeah? Now. Okay. New Fiat 8. Okay, please scan your attendance, Fiat 8. Okay then. Then All right. Thank you. Okay, where were we? So in-text citation. So what should we do next? Okay. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to write an essay. So this is just an exercise, right? So you don't have to, so it is not marked and you have to work in group. So you have to do it in group first so that because I don't, so that you can work with each other, and also I don't have the time to look at everyone's work individually. So now you just write an essay on the topic of suicide and you have to use in-text citation, what we've learned just now, right? And you try to produce an essay of 500 words. So you work in groups of 4, all right? So try to finish it and then submit it to me next week. No, you don't have to submit to me, but you have to show me, right? So next week I will have consultation hours for 2 hours or so. I will inform later on Monday, right? So try to finish it by Monday. So what you have to do is you have to write on a topic, right? The topic that I've chosen for you is suicide, right? So include information from at least 4 of the excerpts below. So the question is the same as your assessment question, your assignment question. Yeah, but the difference is you have to do it in groups, and this is just an exercise, so it is not marked, right? Okay. So let's go through the. So I'll give you. I will give you this. What do we call it? These excerpts from various sources, right? So you have to find a way to include the information from these sources into your article, right? 4 of the excerpts below. So your article, of course, you have to structure it lah, right? So you should have introduction. So what do you want to write in the introduction, right? So just a general overview of the topic. Overview, right? General overview. What you know about suicide, some statistics perhaps, right? Statistics in the world, or what do you know about perhaps here, like for example here, 2017, Suli, former member of South Korean girl group, attended K-pop. So here the article is about the prevalence of suicide among K-pop stars. I'm sure that a lot of you are a fan of K-pop or K-drama, whatever, right? So Korean entertainment industry, they are very big, right, worldwide. But they have this problem whereby a lot of their celebrities commit suicide, right? Because of the stress they face in the entertainment industry. So you want to, perhaps you are familiar with this, so you can expound, you can explain the topic of suicide by relating to what you know about this Korean issue, the issue of suicide among Koreans, right? So so here, so you can take the information from here, or if you want to take what do we call it, statistics, you can take from here. As of 2016, Malaysia's crude suicide rate stood at 5.5 per 100,000 inhabitants. Right. Okay, general overview. Oh shit. I can't find my file. Okay. Oh, okay. And then your body paragraph 1. You want to talk about statistics issues, right? Body paragraph 2. Two factors, right? What other factors? Is it stress? Is it the social media, right? Body paragraph 3. Solution, perhaps. And conclusion. Conclusion, usually you just repeat back what you said, right? You summarize. Okay, so the information you take here from the excerpts, it can be your main point or supporting details. It depends on the structure of your essay. So you have to structure your essay carefully, and then you have to know where you want to put this information. Where does this information stand in the whole of your essay? Another thing is that even though you write you have to cite where your idea come from, but the most important thing is you have to remember that your idea is the most important part. So even though you take the idea from here, you also have to expand the idea by including your own opinion as well. So you see, like in my paper just now that I've already took for some reason, right? So I don't only copy paste, not copy paste. I don't only put other people ideas and then cite. No, I also have to explain what they write by including my own idea. Right. So here, let's look at these excerpts now. Right. So this is from the paper Suicide in Selected Occupations in Queensland. So in this paper, it states that suicide is very prominent in agricultural workers, meaning that people in certain occupation, like here, agriculture, they have a higher risk for suicide. Because why? Because of the stress, I guess, because working in agriculture, you have to work for yourself, right? So if a disaster such as your crops are not growing, there are pandemics, for example, so a lot of your crops gone to waste because nobody wants to buy your produce, because all the restaurants have to be closed down. So that one impact these people's or the workers' mental health. But significantly lower rate of suicide in the education group. There is a lower rate of suicide in the education group because with the teaching profession, perhaps because they would have a regular source of income, right? So you know that for teachers, income is stable, right? It doesn't really depend on whether your crops grow well or not. So in Queensland, so this one is only in Queensland, so you have to be careful here. It's only in Queensland. The risk of suicide for people in agriculture is higher than people in teaching profession. So when you look at these excerpts, remember that you can trace back the paper. So you can just press and then so that you can read. Perhaps you want to read the whole article. So you read the whole article to get a real sense of what the article is about. Because I already provide a reference list there. But this is not the full reference lah. This is just a rough reference. And here, how do you find this article? You can Google, right? You can Google, right? So you just copy and then find it in your search bar. Okay, are you guys still there? Sikit je lagi ya. It's a bit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Google. Okay, so here, suicide in selected occupations, right? So there's a for academic journal. Usually you have to pay to access the journal. So I will show you how to. So you see here, access option. You have to actually pay. Yeah, for $41.50. Right. So it's quite expensive, and it's dollars. So you have to times by berapa dollars? 3, 4. Right. So the way for you to access this, right? You can use it's kind of illegal, right? So you can go to sci-hub.se. You can use Sci-Hub, right? Sci-Hub is a website that is illegally created to bypass this, right? So you just copy paste here. There's sci-hub.se. So you have to remember this domain, right? Sci-hub.se. So you see, you get to access the whole paper. You can download it here, right? So yeah, for free, right? So instead of paying like how much? This, so you can access it for free. But it's quite, not quite, it's kind of illegal, right? So you see this woman is the creator of this Sci-Hub, and she is wanted by the CIA in America because it's illegal. Right, we have to thank her for helping us. So it's sci-hub.cc. So the domain always change. Sometimes it's SE, sometimes it's not this one. Yeah. So currently it's SE. Sometimes it's TW, because they have to always change the domain. So this one is very helpful. You can use it as well for your other subjects, right? So yeah, for your science subject, right? So you can download paper for free. You don't have to pay. Okay, so that is how to download illegally. Okay, next. All right, so the account that emerged that suicidal behavior in young people are frequently, okay, so this one is on the risk factor, right? So people with social and economic disadvantage, they are more likely to commit suicide, childhood and family adversity, individual vulnerabilities, right? Okay, so yeah. This one is from this paper. You can find it. You can access it. You can download it illegally. Okay, all right. And this one, global perspective on religious participation on suicide. Okay, religiosity is also important in suicide because the predominant idea is that if you are religious, you are less likely to commit suicide. Religious in the sense of not just any particular religion, like religion like Christianity, Islam, or whatever religion. You are more religious, you are less likely to commit suicide, right? Okay, so this one is from HSIA 2017. This one is Statista Research Department 2020. Okay, this one is very interesting. It's on the association between Twitter content and suicide. So in social media also is very, what do you call it? Also can influence suicide rate. So for example, when a lot of social media content report on suicide, it is found to be to affect the suicide rates in that society. Why? Because people who are suicidal, who are already suicidal, and they read this news item about suicide, they will be more intrigued. They will get the idea that, okay, this is how to do suicide. So they commit suicide as well. So yeah, this paper is very interesting, right? It shows how the content of news organization, or how the content of you know how social media works, right? One issue is being discussed in social media, and then you keep reading about that issue. So yeah, so that is basically what this paper is about. How does the content of Twitter affects suicide rate, right? Right. So yeah. So you have to find. Do you want me to form the groups for you, or you want to? Okay. So if you have trouble looking for groups, perhaps one of you can volunteer to. Maybe the class rep can volunteer to set up the the groupings, right? You guys don't have class rep, right? So you just choose one person to be your class rep and help to organize your group. All right. So on Monday, I want to see your paper, right? Your paper, 500 words only, and there are 4 of you, so you work together lah. But make sure that all of your essay, the whole essay is connected to one another. Usually when I give group work like this person will write this paragraph, this person will write this paragraph, this person will write this paragraph. At the end of the day, your essay is disjointed, it's not connected because different people write different things. So you have to really discuss with your group mates how to make sure that your paper to flow beautifully, right? Also, if you want to, you have to, I said here you have to include 4, right? If you want to put more, because what's the, oh, at least 4 of the excerpts below. At least, so you can write, you can include excerpts from the whole thing, or if you want to take but 4 from here, and if you want to take another additional excerpts from outside of this, the one that I gave you, you can also do that, right? So from outside, you already know how to do in-text citation. Just in-text citation, you don't have to do the reference list at the end because we have not learned that yet. So just in-text citation, right? So for example here, banyak ni kan dia punya author, Senior William Zahir. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. So you have to use Senior at all je, right? So in-text citation, yes, in-text citation for the citation part. All right. So I will share with you this worksheet that you have to do. Right, okay. Do we have anything else? So if you want to find other articles, other academic articles, you can use Sage Journals. Sage Journals is the name of the publisher actually. There are other publishers like Taylor and Francis, yeah. Taylor and Francis is another big publisher in journals. So you just, for example, suicide. You want to find more article about this topic, right? So you just search here, and then usually there are free ones. So here is usually free, but if you have to pay here, you can use Sci-Hub, right? So Sage, Taylor and Francis, there are other publishers as well. So you can find it. And you can find on whatever topic, not just on social science. For example, you want to find on your, you are from Fiat, right? So Fiat, agriculture, right? So there are a lot of articles on agriculture here as well. So, yeah. Okay, so I think that is it for today. Stop presenting. All right. If you tak sempat, if you couldn't make it, I mean you didn't scan, you can just write your name here, right? Siti Shahira and sorry. Yeah, I will upload this Gmeet on YouTube, and I will share with you this the what do you call it? The link on Ecom, right? So please, if you please write your name and your attendance, no, your metric number here if you haven't scanned your barcode. You have any question? Right. Okay, so I don't want to take a lot of your time.